Hi everyone! You know how important it is nowadays to master all the tools that enterprises have. They don't want to wait for you to learn all of them. So what you can do is install them at home and practice, so you'll come to the job interview prepared that you know exactly how these tools are working. With this series of videos that I'm preparing, you will be installing a full enterprise stack at home, including monitoring tools, GitLab, and all kind of Active Directory stuff, that you will be simulating the environment of an enterprise. So when you are there, you know what exactly you are doing. So let's first start with installing of our environment. And we'll start with installing of VMware Workstation Pro. This will be the core of all of your enterprise. You can install this on a Windows machine or a Mac machine. Now I will consider installing it on the Windows machine. The Mac will be in another video. So without further ado, let's go. We'll start off with downloading of VM Workstation Pro, where all our machines will be hosted. So let's head to broadcom.com and find this distribution. The installation itself is quite straightforward. I don't want to go into details for that. Just double click the file and you will get installed. Windows Server 2 you have to download from here, which is Evaluation Center. So once you all have it on your computer, you are fine, and we can start installing. Here it's very important to choose that you will install the operating system later. This is the option for that when you create a new virtual machine, because you have already your ISO and it doesn't have to go through the terms, license terms, because otherwise you will get the error. So very important at this point, select install later operating system. Choose Windows Server 2022. Very good. That's and there you have to choose your image of virtual machine. Windows Server, that's it. Here we have to reboot. After you click on the personal keyboard enter, you have to straight away go with the mouse inside the window and click there, because otherwise it will reboot and reboot and reboot. There are so many things that have to be here. We obviously choose English. So we have to desktop experience. Here they have to choose this one, and then you will choose your disk. Otherwise you will get an error as well. Local machine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. You see, you have to provide something meaningful, not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I type in some kind of password that I know. So, in order to enter here, you cannot press Ctrl or Del, because it will bring you to the main screen of your computer. What you have to do is press Ctrl Alt Insert, and then you will be taken to here, where you can actually provide your password, and you are in. So now we'll be presented with a screen of Windows Server, and what you have to do now is configure it. We have to configure it and turn it into a domain controller, because this will be like domain controller for all of our users. Yeah. In the server manager, we have to change, first we change the computer name. So we go to our local server, manage our computer name. So what we'll do is put DC01 here. So the computer will reboot now again. So now we have to provide a static IP So we have here now the most important thing is the roles and features. So let's add roles and users. We choose a role-based, feature-based installation. Next. Here we have to check Active Directory domain services. Next. Policy management. What you have to do is also promote the server to the main controller like this. We name it corp local. Now I will save and put some kind of new password. This I will leave unchecked because it will be installed automatically. Here, name, I will leave this as it is. This will leave also as default. And now it will reboot. We have to now create organizational users and units. For this, we would have to, so here we have to choose Active Directory users and computers. Right click on a corp local, new. And here we can create all groups, users, and organizational units. So we will create organizational unit called users IT. By the way, I have to change the keyboard layout. Now we're back and we are creating more organizational units. Just like a normal enterprise, we'll create developer users, operational users, and groups. All there. Now we create the security groups. So here we'll create ops group, admin group, and developers group. 3 groups for the moment. So in user dev, we create new user. Give some login name typical for corporate. We normally would have to specify a temporary password, which he would change with the first logon. But as we work locally, we just uncheck it and just take never expires and provides certain kind of password. Should we put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Never do that. Right, okay, you see, you have to change the password and provide something more meaningful. You can find this user under user dev. So you have to add him to the group of developers. Properties. A member of. Add group developers. There you are. Now he's a developer. So it means that he will inherit all the rights, all the permissions that has got this group. And you don't need to specify to each and separate user what permissions he has to have. We will actually create a few more users now. So and so on. I will let you do that. one thing what we have to do now is create a service account for Keycloak. Keycloak will be our main entry point for all the single sign-on. So all the applications will use Keycloak to verify the identity of different users which try to look at different applications. And Keycloak will go to our Active Directory and verify if the user credential correspond to what they provide. So we have to create on the user ID a new service account. Login entry result. So that's Keycloak. You can still use the same password. We'll provide the password, which we will have to put in the Docker Compose file on Ubuntu where we do install Keycloak. So this account may log in here. Right, so we're done. Now let's open the firewall so we can connect to this server. So you see we have to run PowerShell as administrator, and now we have to paste some commands which I have outside of this virtual machine. Now to be able to paste here from outside, you have to install the VM tools, which are installed here. Now they're actually being from and out of it. This is quite handy because you don't always have time. You don't always have your scripts on the virtual machine. You have it typically outside of your host machine, and you want to try out this or try out that. So this is quite handy. Here I have pasted the script that I generated on my host, and this script we're gonna execute in the PowerShell as admin. I will provide you with these commands. You can find them underneath the video in the YouTube. 1, 2, and 3. Great. So the next step is installing Ubuntu to host all of our apps. As I said before, Windows Server is just a provider of the identities, a provider of the users, user groups, organizational units. This will serve like a normal enterprise. This will allow users to log in using their Windows credentials. So this part is done. Congratulations on your achievement, and let's proceed to the installation of Ubuntu. See you next time.